This year's men's Wooden Award winner, Zack Edey of Purdue. Edey averaged over 22 points a game to go along with 13 rebounds and 2 blocks for the Boilermakers, who won both the Big Ten regular season and the conference tournament title.
It was great. Kind of validates all the work I put in. Every, the late nights in the gym at Purdue validates all that. It's a great honor to put my name next to some of the past college greats. Throughout the year, obviously, it didn't end the way we wanted to, and the way the NCAA works, you kind of judge off of the one game at the end of the year. But I'm so proud of the way our team kind of battled all year. We picked to finish like 5th in the Big Ten. We weren't ranked going into the season.
The battle of the ultimate basketball youngster is quietly heating up across talk shows and barbershop discussions. Everybody's looking to see where the next big thing will be coming from, while others are getting quite optimistic about their favorite prospects. Heck, certain names have been flying around as folks look to project their faves as the better ace. In the midst of all these, though, one particular comparison that seems to be gaining much traction of late is that of two promising young big men, NBA Zack Edey versus Filipino favorite Kai Sotto. Who is the better prospect? Well, hello, and a warm welcome back to your favorite junction for the jumps, the dunks, and everything basketball. Today, we'll be pitching these incredible young ballers side by side to see who comes out on top. And you best believe this is one head-to-head you don't want to miss. But before we get down to the action, kindly take a second to leave a like and subscribe to this channel to help us grow. This will make a huge difference to us. And in doing so, we can continue creating more new and exciting content for you guys. Done that? Excellent. Now, let the battle begin. Of course, both of these ballers are still up and coming in their respective rights, but they also need little to no introduction for OG fans. However, to get a proper understanding of how both ballers rank, here's a brief intro for you. Starting with the giant Canadian, Zachary Chaney Edey is a 7'4" rookie who plays as a center for the Memphis Grizzlies. Born on the 14th of May 2002, Zach is 22 and is perhaps the better known of both players since he's already plying his trade in the NBA. While there's no point stating the obvious about Zach's height, it is definitely worth pointing out that he's also well built at about 305 pounds. Simply put, Zack Edey is one giant of a baller, and it's no surprise he's already dominating his way into the hearts of fans even as a rookie. On the other hand, Kai Zachary Sotto is similarly a giant of a man, rising up to an equally mesmerizing height of 7'3". He hails from the Philippines and currently plays as a center for the B-League's Koshigaya Alphas. Born on the 11th of May 2002, Kai is quickly turning into one of the brightest talents in Asia, and it's pretty easy to see why. Now that you've been well caught up with each of these rising ballers, here, let's see how their respective careers have been so far. Born in Toronto, Canada, Zack Edey unsurprisingly grew up playing ice hockey and baseball, as is common in the Big White North.
Well, guess what? The NBA said, we're tired of sending our scouts all the way over there. We're tired of being devoid of the opportunities for these young men. This is a beautiful, beautiful thing, and it puts the NCAA on notice that you can't get away with exploiting these athletes the way that you've been doing for decades. And I hope to see more of it from elite athletes coming out of prep until the NCAA steps up and starts taking care of these dudes and compensating them.
It wasn't until 10th grade, however, that the young lad picked up basketball, and it's fair to say he hasn't looked back ever since. He first played with the Northern Kings Amateur Athletics before making the move to the United States, where he enrolled with IMG Academy in Florida. At IMG, he was initially listed as a second-team player. But Zach, just being Zach, needed only a little time to convince everyone that he was worth being in the first team as a consensus 3-star recruit. Zach's journey to the NBA was pretty much traditional, as it involved him playing his way through college basketball. But don't get it twisted, because his college career wasn't random by any means. Of course, he's one of those rare talents who got to play a full 4 years in the NCAA, but it only gave him ample opportunities to dominate the hell out of the game. Zach represented Purdue's Boilermakers in college, and his career was nothing less than impressive. He was a 2-time NCAA Player of the Year, a 2-time consensus All-American First Teamer, 2-time Big Ten Player of the Year, 1-time Big Ten Tournament MVP, and 1-time NCAA scoring champion, among other honors. Tell you what, it didn't come as a surprise whatsoever when he was selected in the first round of the 2024 drafts. In fact, with the caliber of player he proved to be in college, the surprise was more of the fact that he was selected outside the top 5. Nonetheless, he's finally leaving his mark in the NBA, and you bet that's what matters most. But then, if Zack's journey to the NBA so far has been quite traditional, Kai Sotto's couldn't be more different. Of course, like Zack, this young Filipino sensation learned the ropes outside of the United States, and only moved here after developing a skill for basketball. However, his career path didn't involve the NCAA, even though he was listed as a 4-star recruit and ultimately got offers from several colleges. Instead, Sotto opted to go pro, signing for the G League Ignites. However, he wouldn't get much playing time there due to national team engagements and the outbreak of COVID-19. He then moved to Australia, where he dazzled briefly with the Adelaide 36ers before deciding to move to Japan's B League, where he currently plays. In Japan, Kai has had stints with the Hiroshima Dragonflies, Yokohama B Corsairs, and now the Koshigaya Alphas. But then it's worth pointing out how immense Sotto has been in his career so far, playing pivotal role in everything teams he's represented. He's also matured into a well-rounded baller, and it's now only a matter of time before he returns to the US to make his mark in the world's most prestigious basketball league. Now, enough about their incredible journeys so far. Here, let's look at what each of these players really bring to the table. Looking at this duo, you really can't help but notice the similarities in their general aesthetics. More like spades and shovels, if you may. But then, when it comes to actual playing styles, the two could not be any more different. For Zack, his strength obviously lies in his giant frame and his ability to use his body to excellent effect. At 7'4", he has a clear height advantage over most NBA players, and he tends to flex this advantage a whole lot. His dominant inside presence often stands out among his greatest appeals. As a result, the Canadian is mostly being deployed as a typical big man or a dominant low post player, which allows him to bully the opposition using his size and footwork. He's also an asset in defense, where his incredible rebounding and unbelievable shot blocking prowess make for catchy headlines. Sotto, on the other hand, is equally tall, but his height is hardly his best quality. His ability to be quite mobile despite being a big man, though, is what catches the eye most about his game. Of course, he boasts a certain perimeter appeal and can often use his unbelievable wingspan to his advantage. But then, his versatility and ability to function effectively in almost every position is what puts him in the spotlight. He's more like a Wemby kind of player, Sotto, and such players tend to be extra valuable on the court. I mean, you can count on them to be ball carriers, orchestrate play, cause problems with his height, and be deadly in pick-and-roll situations. Now, this is a rare talent we're talking about here, and it's exactly what Kai Sotto offers with his unique style of play. But then, while Kai's general style of play may look more appealing, the stats tend to favor Zack's raw, brutal, and domineering approach. You see, while Kai usually appears to impact games more, his current average of 13.8 points, 9.5 rebounds, and 2.0 assists per game may well be one of his best on the board yet. Of course, there's also no forgetting his jaw-dropping performance against Chiba Jets back in January of 2024, when he put up a career-high 26 points. But overall, his stats may not be as eye-popping as his overall play suggests. In comparison, Zack Edey tends to be a more steady finisher and attracts way more impressive stats. Indeed, he's yet to catch up to full speed in the NBA, and only commands a meager average of 10.2 points and 7.1 rebounds this season. However, if his college career is anything to go by, then we already know what he's capable of. In his last year in the NCAA, Zack put up a superb 25.2 points, 12.2 assists, and 2.2 blocks per game. Talk about a poacher, and this man's your guy. But then again, while both young ballers have proven to have very high ceilings, the duo is still a long way from maturity, with certain obvious lapses in their play. For Kai, you take one look at him and you see his first and most worrying lapse, which is his body frame. You see, while Sotto may well be one of the tallest young ballers out there, his core strength tells a different story entirely. That and the fact that he isn't very reliable in defense. He's definitely not the strongest player out there, and his slender physique doesn't do much to help. Perhaps, if he could put in the extra work in the gym and bulk up a little more, then this problem may just be easily sorted out. Edey doesn't really have a similar problem. In fact, he's a big bully on any day, and he knows how to put in the most extraordinary blocks. But then, he's unsurprisingly not very mobile and takes more time to get up and down the court. He's also not the best perimeter defender out there and tends to lose his man a little too easily. The good news, however, is that these players are young and have almost all the time in the world to improve on these perceived weaknesses. So, how does Zack Edey compare to Kai Sotto? Both players are excellent talents and have the potential to be impact players in the near future. Of course, Zack is already basking under the light of the NBA with his Memphis Grizzlies, while Kai is predicted to finally get his chance this year, after dominating the B League for 3 years. He looks poised to put the disappointment of going undrafted back in 2022 and turn a new chapter. A chapter of dominance for Zack and Kai as the league's new big men. So, there you have it, guys. Do let us know what you think of these incredible youngsters. Is Kai as good as Zack Edey? Or will the Filipino sensation prove to be a better and more complete player when he finally gets his chance? Well, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? In the meantime though, remember to give this video a good old thumbs up and smash that subscribe icon to follow the journeys of these youngsters and enjoy other exciting videos about your favorite NBA stars.